Welcome to today's presentation on the Bachelor's of Engineering in Information and Communication Technology, Software Engineering and Information Security degree program. Right, before we begin today's presentation, I think to set the context, what are we doing today? We are going to briefly cover with you the degree programs in Information Security and Software Engineering, but at the same time, we want to answer a very critical question. Which career is it in for you? Software Engineering or Information Security? Which one is better? So this shows the presentation overview, what are the topics we are going to cover in today's presentation. Seems like a lot of things, but hopefully you all will find this very interesting. Now, for those who do not know SIT, all right, the Singapore Institute of Technology, we are a reasonably young university. Actually, we started back in 2014. And these two degree programs that I'm going to talk to you about today actually are the first set of degree programs that's launched by SIT as an autonomous university. So these two degree programs actually do have a history, and actually we have graduated several batches that are doing very well in the industry. Now, back to the question for today, really, which one is more in demand, software engineers or information security professionals? Right, if you look at this, you have to ask yourself a question before you come to a university, before you want to get a degree. Why on earth are you going to the university? Why on earth do you want a degree? Okay, that is the fundamental question you have to ask yourself. Is it to get a piece of paper that we put, classify degree, bachelor's in whatever? Or is it really to help you gain enough skills, enough knowledge for you to begin your career and get a good job and later on take care of your family? All right, so that has to be the premise of why you're taking a degree. Really, it's for a career. So before we even decide which degree to go on, okay, or whether to take a degree or not, you have to first of all look, is there a career pathway for you after you have graduated? So likewise, when we started this degree program back in 2014, the very first question that we asked ourselves is, do the graduates, after they have completed this degree, would they have jobs? All right, so what I'm going to show now is actually a survey, okay, that was done by IMDA back in 2016. And this shows actually the projections of manpower demands, okay, in the area of ICT. As you can see, okay, they projected between 2017 to 2019, there's going to be a demand of 34,000 ICT professionals in various areas, including areas of software engineering, as well as information security. So we know even back then in 2014, there's going to be great demands for ICT professionals. And if you all have read the news back in 2016 as well, there was a great push towards ICT. So at that point of time, the government had invested a lot of money to really train talents for these ICT professionals or these ICT jobs. So you'll ask yourself, okay, these are all government figures, all right, projection figures. Is there any truth to them or not? Or is this fake news? So what I did was early on this year, I went up to jobstreet.com. If you all know jobstreet.com, this is where real people, real companies place real jobs. And I took a look there to see what are the various job offerings that are in the market today. So these are real, right? And I know a lot of you, when you are growing up, if your parents are anything like mine, okay, when I was younger, they always tell me, okay, go and become a lawyer, go and become a doctor, all right? Is there any truth to what they are telling you to do? So what I did was, out of curiosity, I just went up to George Street and see, if today I have listened to my parents, I went and take up a law degree, what will my career progression be if I was a lawyer? So let's take a look what happens in jobstreet.com. I say, hey, I've chosen a path as a lawyer. So earlier this year, this is really on JobStreet. If you just do a search for any law jobs, you'll discover for pay that's slightly more than 3,000, there's almost 700 plus positions. That means there is a demand of 700 plus lawyers that the industry requires. And then you can see the different pay scales as well as they go along. And what do you realize here? So for example here, okay, if you look at this 700 plus of 3,000 above. How about if you want a pay of 5,000 above? How many job positions are now available to you? About 400 plus. You want a higher pay? Maybe when you get more experience, 200 plus. So what you discover, this is actually the career progression as a lawyer. Don't look too bad. What happened if I believe my dad asking me to go and take a medical degree? As a doctor, slightly worse than a lawyer. So what you see there is, for doctors, if I'm graduating fresh from my medical degree today, according to JobStreet, there will be about 400 plus positions available for me. But if I could go up my career pathway, let's say I have 10 years of experience, I want a 10K job pay, what will happen? That means I'm fighting for these 50 positions. Still not too bad, right? And unfortunate for me, because I'm now presenting to you all this. My full-time job is as a faculty, as a professor in SIT. So unfortunately, I chose to go down this path. So if today SIT was to fire me, I go to Job Street. What type of jobs are available for me? Very bad. So if you see, if I'm a professor, today I'm fired, I need to go for a job. There's only 11 jobs that offer me a pay more than 3K. So from here, you can also find professors do not pay well. What other jobs are there? How about software engineering? How about information security? Do they pay better than doctors, lawyers, or even professors? Let's take a look at this. Let's go for information security first. Okay, before I point to the next, I reveal the answers, I just want you all to take a moment and imagine, do you think there will be more job opportunities today? All right, if you have taken a degree in information security going out, how many job offers you think will be there, more than 3K, that's waiting for you? Will it be more than lawyers, more than doctors? Definitely, I can tell you it's more than professors. All right, just take a moment. All right, you have your own estimation. Now, let me reveal the answers. If today you have graduated, all right, with an information security degree, altogether there's 1,500 over jobs available for you. Right, this is back in January. Of course, numbers, as you see this video, may have increased. But at the moment, what we have in year 2000 is we have vacancies of 1,005 if you have just graduated. All right, and in this instance, what you see is not only upon graduation, but as you go along your career, you realize when you get more and more experience, there's also more and more demand for professionals who are experienced that comes with better pay. So there is a job path, a career pathway for you as well as an information security professional. So you know if you take up the information security degree, there will be a job for you after graduation. How about software engineering? Now, again, I want you all to guess whether software engineers, there's more demand, whether they pay better. Just take a moment and guess. Of course, you could also do the other way. If you are good in logic, you can see the way that I have arranged the tables, most probably it tells you whichever is on top has the most demand. So you are correct for software engineers as of January 2020. For jobs paying more than 3,000, there are altogether 3,000 over jobs, all right, in software engineering. There's a big demand for software engineers. And this makes perfect sense because if you look at it, right now, for you viewing the videos on your computer, on your mobile phones, you are using a computer device to view this video. What it tells you, somebody must have coded this, okay, the software that you use. As we go with more and more digitization, with organizations, companies going on more and more digitalizations using more and more computers, more and more software is required, which means there's more and more demand for software engineers. So it comes as no surprise that software engineering is really a profession that the industry really, really wants. And there is a huge demand for good software engineering professionals. So you can see, in terms of job availability, there's 3,000. How about job progressment? As you can tell, as you are moving more and more, as you gain more and more experience, there's still a lot of job opportunities. There's still a lot of job opening. The companies are still looking for good software engineers. So to answer the question, which one is more in demand, software engineering or information security? Both. All right, they are equally good opportunities, and at the moment, the industry do need a lot of these talents. Okay, so there's high job demands, good remuneration, and good job prospects. Not only in Singapore, actually all around the world. If you look at the survey that was done for the 100 best jobs across all sectors in the States, right, you can see that software engineers as well as information security analysts or information security comes up top, in the top 10. So not only in Singapore, but also elsewhere in the world. And why is this so? Because software drives everything nowadays. Okay, you'll be really hard-pressed to find anybody without a smart mobile phone, without a computer that doesn't use software on a day-to-day basis. Likewise for all businesses. So it's not only job availabilities today, but also in the future, when you may see this video. I'm pretty sure at that point of time, the amount of software being used will just be increasing. With more software being used, more software engineers are required. And with more assets put onto the digital space, more information security professionals are required. So there will only be expansion in terms of demand for software engineers as well as information security professionals. All right? Likewise, this is something that you can see in terms of information security. As more assets are placed there, more and more people are required to help you secure the assets in the digital space. So this will continue on because almost now, a lot of your transactions are all happening online. Your shopping is happening online, right? So in these instances, you will know more and more assets are placed online, more and more information security professionals are required. Okay, and of course, back in 2015, if you look at this, government has already said they are going to invest a lot into information security, into cybersecurity as well. Okay, now the landscape, how does it look like? Why did we start the degree program? As I mentioned, these two sets of degree programs in software engineering as well as information security was the first set of degree programs launched by SIT. Why did we launch it back in 2014? Okay, it's because at the point of time we did a landscape scan, and what we discovered is there's actually no degree offered by autonomous university in Singapore, okay, in software engineering or in information security. However, there's many diplomas that's offering diplomas in these areas. So what we did, we launched, okay, these two sets of degree programs. And this is something that if you refer to the news back then, it also came out in the news back in 2014, that Singapore Institute of Technology will launch the country's first undergraduate information security degree program in December. And one of the things that's quite important about this little document, okay, or this little press release, was that the thing highlighted in red over here, okay, what is important there is there's something that is mentioned there in this article that's actually quite interesting, okay, where students in existing undergraduate degree programs back then said that they felt ill-prepared to join the industry, okay, because the area of study is too general. So that is why, in certain ways, when we design the degree program, we make sure that our degree program is highly specialized. All right? So how does the overview of the degree program look like? Now, we now know there is a big demand for good software engineering professionals as well as information security professionals out there. The key question is, there is a demand for professionals, but how do you get there? Okay, the main thing is, it's not just anybody could be a software engineer, anybody could be a good information security professional. Right? Really, you need to be capable. We want good talents, good professionals. And to do that, this is what our degree program intends to do. Really a degree program to train highly specialized professionals that can integrate seamlessly and contribute effectively into the infocom industry to really help, okay, satisfy this talent shortage that we currently have in the areas of ICT. So these are degree program conferred by SIT. These two, they are not conferred together with our overseas partner, but purely by SIT. They are majors, not specializations. So it's not something that you take in your final year. When you embark on a degree for software engineering, it is a software engineering degree. Likewise, when you embark for the information security degree, it is a full-fledged information security degree. Okay, and why we say so is because you will focus on your on your majors from your second years onwards. So if there's anything for you to walk away from today's presentation about the degree program, okay, 3 keywords. The degree programs that I'm talking to you about, okay, is highly specialized, practice-oriented, and very industry-focused. All right, I shall delve into each one of these keywords in the following slides and presentation. But mainly, why do we want to do this? Because really, we want to train you to be the best professional out there in terms of software engineering and information security. So how does the program structure look like? It's a 4-year degree program, of which your first year is where we cover the common ICT foundations. So for those who worry about, hey, after I come to this degree program, other than software engineering or information security, can I move elsewhere? Can I do other ICT jobs? Of course you can, because why? We train you for your foundations very well in the first year, okay, so that you can build on your majors in terms of software engineering or information security. But that also means it allows you to move literally across any sector in ICT. Okay, this is also where for the diploma students, if you have relevant modules, all right, and you satisfy our exemption criteria, we do actually module-based exemptions. So depending on what you have taken, okay, you can exempt the relevant modules in the first year of this program. From second year onwards, we will run straight into specialization. Okay, so for the next few trimesters, you will actually do subject-specific to software engineering if you are in the software engineering degree program, and information security if you are in the information security degree program. In your final year, a unique part about this program is that final year of your studies, you're actually out in the industry. You work for one entire year in the industry. We call it the Integrated Work-Study Program, where you'll work, study, come back to SIT Friday afternoon, as well as do your Capstone Project or your final year project with the industry. Right, this is quite unique, and I'll actually mention a bit more of details in the presentation later. Right, so in SIT, we are broken up into trimesters. So 1 year is made out of 3 trimesters. All right, the trimesters runs from September, all right, to January to April, and then May to August. So for the ICT degree program, what you can see is in the first year, as mentioned, okay, we will cover the ICT foundations. So these are 10 modules that actually cover most of the topics or actually all the topics in computer science, including programming, including networks, operating systems, so on and so forth. From your second year onwards, that's where you all will actually go into your specialization, okay, where you all will cover the topics, okay, that's related to software engineering or information security. And of course, in your final year, you go out for your IWSP. Okay, why I say we are highly specialized? Because we actually have this unique narrow inverse T education model. So how does this differ from a traditional computer science degree? So if you look at traditional computer science degrees, okay, typically they cover about 3 years of very generic computer science module, very broad coverage. And then a final year, okay, 1 year of electives or specialization. That could be in software engineering or information security. Now, a lot of people in the profession will know, in order for you to be a good software engineer or be a good information security professional, it's not something that you can train within a year. You do need a long runway to do so, which is why in our case, all right, we have 1 year of foundation studies, all right, really trying to leverage off, especially for those students who have taken your diploma in a relevant IT diploma. Make use of the skills that you have learned, solidify those, capture everything within 1 year, and from there, build up your knowledge in the areas of software engineering or information security. So now you have a longer runway, really to unite what you have learned in the universities and what the industry demands, right? So also this is to unite for the students who come from the diplomas, relevant diplomas, things that you have learned, okay, back in your polytechnic to things that we are going to cover here, right? So for those who are not in the A-levels or not articulated diploma, don't worry. In the past, we have students, okay, who came from non-articulated diplomas and A-levels. The thing is that they don't do any module exemption in the first year, and they work really, really, really hard, all right? It's still possible to actually get a degree, to graduate from this degree and get a good job. You have seniors before you have done that, right? So don't worry too much about that, okay? More importantly is, before you even come to the degree, you must know, is this a career for you? Okay, whether you are really interested in software engineering, in information security, go and find out more. If you are, the passion will drive you too, because in this degree program, we do talk a lot about passion, about your determination. Okay, we are very highly specialized. Why? Just now we mentioned why we want to really start you on your majors from the second year onwards. Because if you look at it, software engineering in many traditional degrees is maybe 1 or 2 modules. They say Introduction to Software Engineering 1, Introduction to Software Engineering 2. Does that make you a good software engineer? All right, it really does not, because it's not that simple. Likewise, a lot of people have this misunderstanding that software engineering is nothing more than programming. Actually, no, programming is just one part of software engineering. Programming is the implementation of the software. All right, you can be coding something beautifully, but it doesn't satisfy what the customer requires. What good is that? Right? If it doesn't, it's not maintainable. All right, it's not something that can sustain. Then your software may not work. So software engineering is really, really a whole life cycle. Okay, so it's not just about software development or programming. It's really from the front, from the analysis. How do you know what is the client's requirement? How do you come up with that, analyze what is important, design, develop, okay, the application. Then after, how do you test it to make sure that it's doing what it's supposed to do? Right, then implementation is not just about the coding, but how do you implement it so that it can gel with the organization, okay, with the people that are using it. Then after that, you talk about really how do you maintain it. So every one of this, actually, to look at it, is one topic by itself, right? So if you look at the modules that we cover, all this software design, okay, by itself is a 60-hour module. Software modeling and analysis is a 60-hour module. So each one of this is actually an area of knowledge, and we want to delve you very deep in that, right? Likewise for cybersecurity. Cybersecurity is another one where today, okay, the hackers, the cyber criminals can come in any angles. All right, they will not let you know beforehand how they are going to do it. All right, if you have read a textbook somewhere, most probably they will have read it too. So they are always using very, very new ways of trying to break a system. So you as the good person, as the good information security professional, you must be able to have that knowledge and that skill to not only prevent hacks, okay, that has already happened, that people know of, but also when something happens, be able to very quickly find out what has happened and how do you stop it in its tracks. So knowledge is key as well in information security, which is why we cover these 4 pillars in information security if you are taking the information security degree program in terms of offense, defense, prevention, protection, management, and governance. So if you look at this, again, these are all the topics that we cover. Each one of these topics is 60 hours. All right, ethical hacking, 60 hours. Applied cryptography, 60 hours. Mobile security, 60 hours. Network security, 60 hours. So you look at this, it really trains you to be highly specialized professionals. All right. And information security is one that's very dear to my heart because I served in the information security profession for a long time. Really, nowadays, you cannot say I'm just good in network security. I'm just good in terms of software security. Actually, nowadays, the systems are so integrated, the vulnerability can come from anywhere. So it's actually a basic requirement for all information security professionals to have a good, well-rounded knowledge of all sectors in information security, which is why you see all these topics here. Each one of them are 60 hours. We can't do this just within a year, all right? Which is why we require you to start your majors from the second year onwards. Okay, we are very practice-oriented. So just to mention this, the foundation modules that you are going to cover in your first year. Unlike very traditional degree programs where you have most probably given a 10-year-old textbook, most probably your dad, your mom will have used that textbook before you, and they're still teaching it today. Look at this, ICT is a very fast-moving area. All right, all these things will have been obsolete. So it's kind of strange if you are still depending on the 10, 20-year textbook, right? Those doesn't work anymore today. Today, really, things are moving so fast. Everything is very practical. So what we want to do is really drive theory through practice. Allows you to get your hands dirty, really work on programming, working on codes. Give you an example. For example, when we look at computer networks, one of the modules that you'll cover in your first year. All right, there are people who teach computer networks in terms of just a textbook and tell you, oh, this is the OSI 7-layer model, so on and so forth. For our case, no. In the first year, you actually go to a lab. There's the real hardware racks. There are the real switches, the real cables and everything, that you really get your hands dirty and try them. And very often, you know when you are debugging a system, right, things as simple as a cable breakage could lead you spending days and days debugging a network. But these are very real. These are the things that you will see when you go out to the industry. So by exposing you to all this whilst you are in the degree, when you go out to work in the future, now you know. When you're debugging a network, at the back of your mind, you always know, okay, there is a possibility that cables might be broken. There is a possibility that systems might not work as what they seem that they would. Then how do you debug all this? So really, this is where the practice comes in. All right, so as I mentioned, we really want to drive the theory through practice. So all these modules, these 10 modules, okay, are our foundation modules. All right, they are very practical, hands-on. Another example is programming. So if you do not like programming after your first year, you will love programming, or you will be made to love programming. Okay, some of you will ask, okay, so what are the programming languages we cover, okay, in these degree programs? All right, we cover more than 10 of them. When I say cover, it doesn't mean that we spoon-feed you 10 programming languages or we throw 10 dictionaries at you. It means that you will be using them. Either you are learning them by yourself and implementing them, or we are guiding you along on how to use these programming languages, which can include C, C++, Java, Python, assembly, so on and so forth. So very practical, hands-on, right? So an example of a module that I teach currently, ICT 1003, it's called Computer Organization Architecture. So in the past, if you go to any traditional degrees, this is one of the driest topics that can be covered, where they teach a 10-year-old textbook on computer architecture. Okay, in our case, it's slightly different. Okay, for those who come to the course, actually, we actually give you a smartwatch, okay, which mimics a computer, right? And this one is not the smartwatch that you can buy from Samsung and so on and so forth. Okay, it's really a raw smartwatch that has computing capabilities, that has some communications capabilities. It's given to you. And what happens in your very first year? You'll be coding in assembly. You'll be coding programs, all right, to really essentially make this smartwatch work for you. You'll be working in teams, right? So if you just go up to YouTube and just search ICT 1003, you will see a lot of use cases, okay, of previous applications that your seniors before you have built. And bearing in mind, this is all done in their first year, first trimester. So this gives you some indication of which level of practical skills we are looking at. Okay, then after that you have done that, we shall go into the advanced specialized modules, okay, where we really get your hands dirty. For information security, you will talk about ethical hacking, network security, web security. For software engineering, you will go into distributed systems programming, where you'll program a bit of the cloud, embedded system programming, where you'll program microcontroller systems, as well as mobile application programming. Then with those practical knowledge, we shall then cover the core specialized knowledge. So as I said, we drive knowledge through practice. So now that you know how to program, then this is when you can actually go and see this, when we say waterfall model, when we talk about Scrum methodologies, we talk about Agile, what does it actually mean in software engineering? Okay, it's very easy to see in a textbook what it means. It's just a diagram. But when you practice it, you will see that it's very different. Okay, and you can only practice it because you can code. Likewise, for information security, all these things only make sense because you have the ability to hack, you have the ability to defend, you have the ability to build, right? So building all your practical skills will build on your core knowledge as well. Then, of course, in order for you to get a job, it's not all about the technical knowledge and skills. It's also about the soft skills. So that's where we also cover in the degree program things like career and professional development, where we really talk about ethics, about communication skills. We have a self-learning module because part of SIT's DNA to learn, unlearn, and relearn. We want you to have lifelong learning. So there is a module in your third year which is very interesting. You want to find out more about the module, apply for the course. You will see what it is about, right? Where essentially you will be learning on your own and coming out with the online module on your own together with your classmates. And we also have some soft skills like productivity management, design thinking, and change management, really skills that are useful for you when you go out to the industry. And then, as I mentioned, the final year, you'll be out for your integrated work-study program for one entire year. Okay, that is where you really work in the industry, demonstrate the knowledge and skills that you have learned in the curriculum out there in the industry. Okay, and then we do hear from the industry what they feedback. So in the past, your seniors before you who have gone out to the industry will have given us feedback, and those are actually brought into the curriculum, right? And for all our students, as I mentioned, we have something quite unique. So we have the Capstone Project, which you do with the industry in the final year while you are working with them. So unlike typical final year projects in typical universities, so in typical universities, when you take a degree, there's a final year project. What is a final year project in a traditional university? It's essentially a project that the professor scratches his head, think very hard about, asks you to work on it for a year. After you have finished doing it, he gives you a grade, and what happened to the project? It goes in a closet somewhere. Okay, it's not the most effective use of your time, right? You have spent one whole year on it. What is the impact? Really not much. But for our case, what happens? Your capstone project is something you do with the industry. All right, you do that with the industry in your final year in your IWSP. So while you are doing that, what happens? We always tell the industry, give you real projects. So your seniors before you, they have worked on capstone projects that is part of the industry's products or their services that they are really offering. So even after you have graduated, you can choose to join the company, so continue offering or improving those services, or even after you have left, the work that you have done in your capstone project will still be useful, right, to the industry. But of course, because it's a real industry project, you get to learn also. You also get to really practice your art in the real industry environment. Okay, so we are very industry focused. Our degree program has a very strong industry advisory committees. So these are the members as of January 2020. So we have members from MNCs, we have members from the government. We also have members from the small SMEs as well, all right, and international companies. So we hear from them, our IAC members, our industry advisory members, what is the industry demands? What are the needs? How is this degree program training our graduates? Right. As well, in the degree program itself, every year you will be interacting with the industry, be it in the curriculum. All right, a lot of the curriculum, we hire industry adjuncts, or we invite industry adjuncts to come and help us, okay, really to share with you all their industry experiences. We make use of industry facilities and tools, all right, within the program as well. But more specifically, if you look at this, every year there is opportunity for you to go out to the industry to work. In the first year, third trimester, you can do an optional industry induction, where you go out to the industry and work for 4 months. In the second year, okay, there's an integrative team project where a team of 4 to 6 students will work on a real industry project, right? And the final year, as I mentioned, IWSP, you'll be out in the industry for 1 entire year, okay? So the IWSP is really a unique feature for our degree program. In the final year, 1 whole year, 3 trimesters, you'll be out there with the industry. First of all, because it's an entire year, the companies can give you real jobs, okay? You can take on more responsibility and given real work roles, okay? And as I mentioned, while you're working with the industry, you'll also be doing your capstone project. Okay, so unlike the past, when we talk about final year project in the traditional degree, it's only about one particular project. Here it's not, it's really about the projects that the company will put you on. Together, the main important thing is how you have demonstrated knowledge and skills you learn from the university, knowledge and skills you learn while you are at the workplace, knowledge and skills you learned, okay, by yourself. Integrate all this together to fulfill the company's requirements, right? And fulfill your capstone project, right? So it can be multiple products, it can be a single product. All of this will come together to form your capstone, right? And unlike typical attachments where you don't really see the faculty, in our case, because of the capstone project, you actually see your professors, okay, maybe once every 3-4 weeks, okay, or 2-3 weeks, right? So essentially there are mentorship, okay, as you are going along with the industry. And study component, all right, what will happen is every Friday afternoon currently, or one afternoon in the week, you'll be back in SIT to take up some modules, for example, change management, design thinking, or productivity management. So this is really those soft skills that we want you, because these subjects, if you purely teach in the classroom, is very dry. You may not be able to understand or appreciate what this means to the industry. But now, when we do this in your final year, you are working for the industry. While you're working with the industry, look at productivity management. Think about it, how can I help productivity in my company? Then because you are still working with them, maybe come up with some suggestion, new software they can develop for them to help them improve their productivity, and so that you become assets to them, all right? And really, IWSP is like a real job. Okay, for those who ask, do we place you into IWSP positions? No, all right? Essentially what happens is companies will put up job offers, all right? The job position, the description, the capstone, the remuneration, the benefits on the job portal. You all apply for it, all right? And then after that, if the company shortlists you, there's an interview process, you all negotiate, and then you begin your IWSP, if both sides are happy about it. So it's like a real job hunt. As with anything else in the degree, we want to be as real to industry as possible, all right? So unlike typical attachments where you are paid just a very small sum, our students are actually paid quite a bit, okay, 1,500 on average, okay, while they are on IWSP. Of course, there are more. Okay, in the past, we have students who are offered pays of about 4K, 5K, okay, even when they are going for IWSP. All right, so there are this, but as some of your seniors have told me previously, when there was a position for 4K, none of them applied. They did say, yeah, with more pay comes more responsibility. So in certain ways, it's not bad you choose for yourself whether you are ready at the point of time to take up those responsibilities. But what you can see, companies are really putting real jobs for IWSP. Okay, so companies have come to us. I think the seniors before you have done very, very well. The industry speaks very, very well of our graduates, as well as our IWSP students. Actually, year on year, we have a lot of companies coming to us offering IWSP positions. All right, if you look at it, in the previous years, for every one student we have outgoing for IWSP, there's almost 4 openings for them. Right? So this shows 2 things. There is a great demand for software engineers and information security professionals out there in the industry, that's one. But also, our students are very sought after by the industry. And because your IWSP is done in the final year, what the industry discovered as well, there's a seamless transition. After you have finished your degree, you can continue working with them. There's no breaks. Okay, there's no need for you to come back to the university full-time. So the industry likes that. And actual matter of fact, more than half of our students, while on IWSPs, actually get job offers by their companies. So if you look at it this way, this is really a seamless transition from study to work. So journey so far, okay, even though we are very young, as part of the degree program, one of the requirements is you must get an industry certificate. So the seniors before you, these are examples of industry certs that is obtained by the students. Okay, it can be difficult certs. In those in information security will know the CREST certifications, for example, CRT, CISSP, so on and so forth. So all our students have industry certifications before they graduate. Okay, and even though we are a very young degree program, we have actually won quite a lot of awards already, both locally in Singapore, as well as also internationally. Okay, so we are also champions, for example, for the United Nations Cybersecurity Challenge. Our students has also went to global competitions and actually won prizes. Okay, and also the program is also helping improve our cybersecurity posture. So we are also very actively working with the public sector, with the government agencies, on creating programs that not only elevate our students' capabilities, but also elevate the industry, right? For example, CREST is one of them. Another one is the MINDEF, the DCO program. So for the information security degree program, that program currently, a version of it is also used to train the cyber warriors that are doing this during national service. All right, and as part of one of the projects that we do together with IMDA, for those who know the Go Secure program, so essentially we are also doing the vulnerability assessment, all right? The faculty as well as the students, some set of students, really working on this together with IMDA, where real companies offering digital solutions, all right, go through this scheme where they get their solutions and their products tested for vulnerabilities. And that's done actually through our school as well. All right, and of course, we also have collaborations with our international partners. For example, the mayor of Kaga came down to sign an MOU with us, where our students, because in Singapore we are very small, okay, there's only particular sectors that we see in Singapore. For example, agriculture, we don't see much here, all right? Whereas in Japan, there could be a lot. So ICT is applicable in a lot of sectors. So as part of the degree program, you also get some opportunities to go overseas to see how your knowledge and your skills can apply to various sectors, okay, be it in Singapore or beyond. So we actually have an MOU with the city of Kaga, with the mayor, you can see here in the picture, where our students go over there and do hackathons, okay, with the mayors, with the universities over there, and also look at the industry there and see where does information security or software engineering apply in those industries. Okay, as I mentioned, overseas opportunity with Kaga, we have quite a bit, right? So batches of students has gone out for exchanges. They get to see new environments, new sectors, and then they get themselves explore, because ICT is borderless, right? In the future, they may go into jobs that require them to serve overseas clients. So here, they also get to experience various sectors that may not be available in Singapore, but as well the cultural exchange with the students over there. We also have students that went for overseas industry immersion, okay, in Germany, that you can see here that they are doing autonomous drones. And of course, now we also have students that's going on for overseas IWSP. So the final year for IWSP, rather than working in Singapore, they are working in overseas companies, be it Germany or in the United States. Okay, the degree program, why a 4 years degree program? Is because we are going for accreditation, or we are accredited under the Washington Accord. We did the the provisional accreditation back in 2018, okay, because we were a new degree program, so we couldn't do full accreditation until we have graduated 2 batches. So back in 2018, we have already successfully gotten our provision accreditation, all right? And you can see from the panel report, it says that they were very impressed, okay, by our students and by the degree program, because the seniors before you has really done very well. Because when the panel talked to them, we didn't prepare your seniors before that. They really are able to articulate their passion, articulate what they have done in the program to the panelists. So they have really done that very, very well. And we are going to do the full accreditation in 2021, right, when 2 batches have graduated. So we are going to accredit this degree program under the under the Washington Accord. All right, so some of you will talk about where is this degree program going to be held? Okay, it's going to be held at our NYP campus till 24. From 2024 onwards, it will be at our Punggol campus, all right? The faculty, okay, some of you say young universities, are your faculty any good? So don't worry, our faculties all have come from, a lot of them come from top prestigious universities overseas, Imperial College, Oxford, Edinburgh, so on and so forth. Many of us are very experienced in the industry with 10 or more years of experience in the industry, and a lot of us have also been teaching in the universities for a decade or so. And many of us has won awards and also has taken up leadership position in the industry. So we are very, very experienced. We are also very, very grounded with the industry. So don't worry too much about the faculty quality. We are all very good. All right. So admissions information. So we'll be looking at about 200 students across both majors, 100 for each major. This will change year on year. Okay. The minimum duration for the program, okay, for A-levels and non-articulated diploma students, no exemptions, so you go through the whole 4 years, but actually more accurately, it's 3 years, 8 months. Okay, relevant diploma students, you may actually go for module exemptions on a module-by-module basis during the first year, okay? So all diploma graduates may apply, okay? And when you apply, really, when we shortlist you, we look at several things, okay? You'll be invited to complete an online video interview, all right? From there, we will assess, okay, your technical and reasoning capabilities, your passion, okay, are you really interested in software engineering, in information security, as well as your characteristics, all right, your personality. Are you suited for this as a career? Because finally, what is important, we really want to train our students and our graduates well so that they can seamlessly integrate and contribute to the infocom industry. All right, so the panelists will also take into consideration your diploma results, your certifications, things that you have done even at your workplace. Okay, so in summary, if you look at this, this degree program is a 4-year degree program. All right, if you look really hard at it, it's actually 3 years, 8 months. All right, so essentially 3 years, 8 months. Why? Because there's optional break. You can choose not to go for the optional break here. So there's optional break here. You can choose not to go for it, which many of your seniors did. So they got for IWSP earlier. In this case, the degree program, okay, is just 3 years, 4 months. Okay. But you see, hey, how does this compare to a 2-year degree program, right, that you may see from some other universities? So you say, hey, whether is it longer or shorter? Okay, what's the use of 3 or 4 months degree program? Now you see, if you have a 2-year degree program, you just go for studies. After you have finished the 2 years, the question is, with that degree, can you find a job? Do you have mentorship when you go out to the industry? Is it recognized? Because everybody knows it's a 2-year degree. Whereas for our case, it's a 3 or 4 months. And if you look at it, you spend 2 years, 4 months in SIT, studying all the different modules, okay, be it the fundamentals or the specialized modules. Then after that, okay, so while you're with us, it's a highly specialized degree, it's practice-oriented, industry-focused, okay, and really you're doing your major in software engineering or information security, right? And then in your final year, you go out for the Iwsp, all right? So you are really out there in the industry for one final year. So what it means, during that 1 year, while you're working, you also get the mentorship from the faculty, all right? So that is where we say the seamless transition to the industry. And by the time you graduate, okay, you really have 1 year of working experience, whereas the final year, you're totally out there in the industry, right? So compared to a two-year degree program, actually, you don't spend a lot more time, okay? You just spend that 4 months more in SIT. After that, you are really out in the industry, right? Right, so really after you have finished with us, okay, instead of after a 2-year degree, a big question mark. Here, you go out as a best-in-class professional that's in demand by the industry. All right, so right now we already have the surveys for our graduates because we have graduated 2 batches. And actually we have the graduate surveys already in terms of their employment. Okay, because some of you will ask, this is a very new degree, how does it compare to the other universities, whether your graduates are employable, are they paid as well? So here I just take up a graduate employment survey in 2018. This was the first graduate survey that was done for the degree program. So this is just an example for some of our world-class or world-ranked siblings. These are the degree programs that they offer, where they have employment rate of pretty good, 95, 94%, and these are the median pay. So compared to our graduates, what you realize, we are actually very comparable. Okay, our first batch of students, there's close to 100% employment for information security, okay, 95% employment for software engineering, right? Because some of them decided to go for their further studies, right? But what you can see in terms of the median pay, we are actually very comparable, okay? In our median pay, our students for both is about $4,000 for information security as well as software engineering. It's very comparable to our world-ranked siblings as well. So when you come for the degree program, all right, it's really a good degree program. Really, why do our students get such high pay? Because we really want to train you well for the industry. The job is the reason why you are here. The career prospect is why you want to take the degree. All right, and all this is taken into consideration when we plan the degree program. Okay, so during the Iwsp as well, it's an opportunity for you to impress the industry. Okay, also for the industry to help you in terms of your development. So that's why our graduates are very sought after by the industry. All right, so that's all I have the sharing for you today. So hopefully today we have managed to cover, okay, the question, which one is more in demand, software engineer or information security? Both are in demand as long as you don't want to become a professor like me. I think you are in good hands. In terms of degree program, 3 keywords. Our degree program is highly specialized, practice-oriented, and industry-focused. All right, so with that, hopefully I've given you enough information for you to deliberate on. And if you do want to start a career in information security or software engineering, do consider applying for the degree program. Thank you so much.